interesting. And on 3.5 we have a lot of other famous names, of course. How about Viswanathan against Yusup Atabayev, the only international master on first 20 boards?
Let's check. We should definitely check it.
So Viswanathan, who is known to be, of course, for ages, a very strong rapid player, and he still is dangerous to anybody. And well, here Vishy does very well with black, it seems. So white has a choice, in fact, which pawn to take. Queen b3 allows queen e4. Ah, well, it was played, by the way. Yes, I'm wondering what was wrong with queen takes d4, which was a possibility. Probably you don't want to leave the pawn on b2.
We see them on the camera as well. The young international master did produce some upsets in the previous rounds, so I think we should be careful.
Yeah, right. And this last move, queen f3, is a clever idea, because if you take, right, to unexperienced viewers, it might seem, okay, you double the pawn, it's a good thing. But in fact, those f3 and f2 pawn, they do a great job not letting black to have two connected passed pawns. With one pawn on f3, other pawn on g2. Black potentially has a plan, e5, f5 and e4. And you do have two connected passed pawn in the center. But white has another pawn which will stop those pawns.
There will be no connected passed pawns. It did happen.
It did happen. Vishy takes on f3 and bishop g5. So he's ready to go for a rook ending. I know, it was rook c8,
rook c8, rook c1,
rook c1
and
first,
g5.
and then bishop g5. White takes, black takes.
So what is this rook endgame?
Well, it's quite tricky. I mean, and I believe it's very, very sharp. Has to be very sharp, because both sides have their trumps. Both sides have, well, potentially a lot of passed pawns. So white has a huge majority, 3 versus 1 on the queen side. Well, black has a massive center. King f1.
Yes, white correctly
e5,
has brought his king to
king
d3
e2,
already.
f5 and king d3. So potentially it's c5, king c4, and you should not underestimate white's counterplay. It might be that black will be in danger. So it's a very sharp ending indeed.
Why do you think that Vishy went for this rook endgame? There was no better choice. This is what he thought that would give him the best chance.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Well, you might get affected by the fact that you obviously you have to play for a win, right? In a position like that.
Yeah.
I mean, against the opponent like that, in a situation like that, when you're not on 5 out of 5, but on 3.5 only. So he might get affected by this thing, but. Alternatively, I don't actually see the move after queen f3, which would be... I mean, if you move the queen, then queen b7 comes, and this bishop is hanging, so... Queen f5 could have been an alternative, so that after queen b7, black seemingly has this tricky bishop takes a3. And again, it's not easy to judge. We'll see what's gonna happen in this ending. King c4 now. No, rook g1 starts by playing rook g1.
Forcing the king to go back to f6.
Oh,
unless you want to exchange your pawns.
Yeah, which might be a good idea. Takes, rook takes, but g7 is hanging, king f6, and then...
You went back, and now
I'm
b4.
Not sure. Ah, yeah, so black went king f6 after rook g1, and now b4.
Now rook h8.
Rook h8.
Asking what you do with this weak h2 pawn, and rook...
You don't want to play rook g2.
I wanted to say that's horrible.
Because rook a8, yeah, so black rook is somewhat more active, which is kind of interesting, because you both have the rooks on the back files, right? On first rank, on the 8th rank, but black has more open files in a way.
But this is not a problem, isn't it? He went to c1 with the rook, sacrificing the h2 pawn because
rook h2, and then c6, activating the rook.
So he creates this a and b connected passed
pawns. King e7, right.
Is a pawn down, and the f2 pawn is also hanging.
Yeah, and he gives a check over there. King went to e6. Now, I think, well, probably the whole thing was not good for white. But
yes,
particularly after this check and king e6, yeah, it doesn't make sense to try to catch up with the pawn number, because when you take, black takes. First off, black is still a pawn up, and okay, we'll take a3. But even if not, I mean, black pawns are further advanced, right? No, he
What
went.
has happened?
He's running with his B pawn. So, well, yesterday we were kind of rejecting to analyze position without queens.
But
this one is very,
exciting.
very sharp. This is very, very sharp. So rook takes and b6, and this pawn has only two, well, needs only two moves to become a queen.
So he might end up being 3 pawns down, but he has a very dangerous pass pawn on b6.
So after this check, I assume it's king c2, right? It's king. It must be king c2.
And the first board of the
board
women's
in the
tournament
women's
has
tournament
finished.
has finished. I believe it's a draw.
I think as well. Let's just confirm that it. And
Yeah,
then
it's a draw.
It's a draw.
It's a draw, so Anna Muzichuk keeps her lead, but didn't manage to extend it. So Vishy played rook b2, meanwhile putting the rook behind, and that's a clever thing to do. So White really needs to decide what to do here. Oh well, he took a couple of, yeah, so rook takes. It might be a draw now.
Is it?
Yeah, I think rook b7 was played and White took on g5. It must be a draw. So very, very well played by Yusup Atabayev.
So the current position.
So that's the current
Yeah,
position.
after rook e3, king f2, and f4, it is White to move.
It's White to move. Yeah, maybe I was too hasty to claim that it's gonna be a draw. Okay.
Yes, he still has to defend very precisely, and maybe even then.
No,
this is lost because now the king can enter.
King is coming to
yeah,
e3.
king d4 and king e3.
Yeah, so this is winning for ex-world champion.
Then it was a good idea to go for this endgame.
Yeah.
Actually, he was provoking it with rook c8 and bishop g5. There was just no way to avoid it. What about the board next to them? I see there Maxim Vasilyev against Tomaszewski. Board 10, but
10, yeah. So who's with the white? Vasilyev is with the white pieces, I believe. Well, something very messy, or not really. Queen takes e6, I believe was played already. Yeah, that's somewhat surprising on board 10 to see. Yeah, but they're on 3.5 though. So in this group of.
And Viswanathan has finished. He won his game with a very nice endgame technique. It was a rook endgame where we were doubting if he had real winning chances, and he easily won it. So he proved that that was the way. The h2 pawn and the kingside pawns in general were very weak.